Hi, in this video I will use geometry nodes to create this animation with the help of a very special node called shortest edge paths along with a few more nodes. Let's get started. I'll first remove this cube and instead add a plane. Then I will go to the edit mode and subdivide this plane a few times. Let's subdivide it 6 to 7 times, and as a result we have more polygons in our mesh or plane right now. Next, I will select all these polygons and try to perform insetting. At the bottom left option, I'll select individual and then I will undo this inset. One more time. Yeah. Now I'll again try to inset these squares. So as you can see, I have plane selected in all these squares and I will delete those planes. So as a result, now I have a web-like structure or geometry. Next, I will select this geometry or mesh and go to lattice, select lattice deform, and there you go. So I have this cube like structure around my mesh. This is nothing but the lattice. You can increase the resolution from bottom left options. Now go to the edit mode of lattice and select these vertices and just stretch your mesh like this. This step is optional. You don't have to perform this deformation of your mesh. I'm just doing it because I thought it was quite a basic structure or basic mesh. Let's try to make it more fancy. I'll do the same thing with the vertices over here. Stretch it towards positive x-axis. Select these vertices and stretch it in the opposite direction like this. Now I'll select the mesh, go to the modify section and apply it. Now I can click on the lattice and delete it. So there you go, we have our modified mesh. Now let's add a cube and I will use this cube just to create the geometry nodes tree like this, and then I'll delete the input. I'll drag the plane like this in geometry nodes editor and automatically it will appear as object info node. Make sure you have selected relative in object info. Now let's add shortest edge paths node, and I will also add edge paths to curve node, connect next vertex index, make the other connections like this. Let's also add edge vertices node and then add distance node, connect position 1 and position 2 to the two inputs of distance node, and the output of the distance node will be forwarded to the shortest edge path node as edge cost. Next, I will add a random value node, change it to boolean and reduce the probability to a very small number. Let's make it 0.003. Let's add the index node, connect it to equal, and then connect the output of equal to end vertex in shortest edge paths. And you can see in the viewport we have some pattern. If we change the seed value of the random value node in the geometry nodes editor, you can see the pattern in the viewport is also changing. Let's add another random value node and pass it to the second input of equal node. Now if I change the seed of random value node, the second one, the patterns in the viewport, they also change again. But this time the end point is fixed and starting point is random. Now I'll do one thing. I'll add an integer node and connect it to both the random value nodes so that I can change the seed value of both these random value nodes simultaneously. As a result, if you change the seed values, you're going to get these random patterns in your mesh. Now I will use this node curve to mesh to convert my curve into some geometry. Let's add curve circle and I'll reduce the radius. So you can see the pattern is appearing on our mesh, and it will always follow an edge path. Let's also add a material node so that we can add some texture. Over here I'm creating a material or texture for these sparks. And in the set material node I'll select the same material. So you can see that sparks are now glowing in darkness. Feel free to change the color. Now I will put keyframes on integer values of this particular node. As you can see, with the help of our keyframes, we get this random animation or random glowing sparks. Here I've added a camera so that I can render this frame, and then I'll go to the compositing tab. In the compositing tab, add a glare node and select bloom, and then press F12 on your keyboard to render your frame. The output will appear on the window above. So you can see that our sparks now have some glow. Now for this web-like structure, we can also add a material or texture. I'll go with this grayish color. Let's make it darker. All right. Now let's click on always so that we can see the glow effect in viewport. And there you go. Random sparks effect with the help of shortest edge paths.